Helen Woodford was only 17 years old when she met Babe Ruth in 1914 at a coffee shop in Boston where she was a waitress. And they married within the year, and they were happy for a few years. In fact, in 1919, Babe Ruth was working for the New York Yankees and had made enough money that they bought a big, beautiful farm in Sudbury, Massachusetts. But Babe Ruth was often on the road, as you can imagine, and Helen was home alone on the farm. And Babe Ruth tried to make up for this by buying her fancy gifts and taking her on trips to New York. But Helen was a little shy and she preferred staying home alone on the farm. But this did take its toll, and after a few years, in 1926, Babe Ruth and Helen Woodford separated. They both went on to form new relationships. Helen ended up marrying a local dentist, Dr. Kinder, here in Watertown, Massachusetts. And here on Quincy Street, he owned an opulent home where they lived. And the neighbors had no idea that Helen had been married before. At the very least, they had no idea she was still married to Babe Ruth. They only knew her as Mrs. Kinder. And things were great. Until January 11th, 1929, Dr. Kinder was at the Boston Garden for a boxing match when he was paged and informed that his house had burned and that Mrs. Kinder, Helen, had died in the fire. He returned home, was devastated by what he saw, and was in such a wreck that he couldn't answer the questions that the medical examiner posed to him. A funeral was set, but Dr. Kinder did not go. Babe Ruth, however, paid $10,000 for a funeral that brought 5,000 people from miles around. To this day, there are mysteries surrounding this fire. Some of the reports say that it was caused by an electrical fire. Some say it was a lit cigarette that was dropped. Mrs. Kinder, better known as Helen Woodford Ruth, her family asked that there be a second autopsy because they were afraid she died of a narcotics overdose. So as you can see, a lot of mystery surround it. Dr. Kinder disappeared shortly hereafter and was never heard from again. Rumor has it he ended up in New York, but there's not even any record of his death on file. So is the house on this site currently haunted by the ghost of the first Mrs. Ruth? Nobody knows for sure, but they do say that the house that Dr. Kinder owned that was torn down shortly thereafter may have been haunted by the ghost of Mrs. Ruth, and they said you could sometimes hear the sound of a woman sobbing in the distance. So hopefully she's gone on to a better place from here. That's today's Ghastly Dispatch. Please follow us for tomorrow's update, and be sure to follow our YouTube channel for more ghost stories from Ghostly Dispatches.